My name is Tane Barzo, and I'm here to talk about my lead power project. The first question is, why did I select what I selected for the power project? Well, a few reasons. So I currently hold 2 master's degrees, one in English and another in information technology management. I have 15 years of experience across all domains of IT and over 6 years of experience leading very highly functioning teams across Central University IT and specific School of Medicine IT domains. I've done a lot. I've been teaching at the university level for over 12 years in subjects ranging from English to new interactive media, gamification, story development for video game design, as well as others. So I've done a lot of things, but I'm not professionally fulfilled. I'm not where I should be. I'm in a middle management position. Certainly, I'm at Stanford University, and I feel positive about where I am, but I know that I could be doing more. I have the intellect, I have the skills and abilities, and I've done everything, yet I still haven't moved forward into directorship or other positions or my own consulting business. And really taking the power class into account, what I've understood is it has nothing to do with my skills, but it does have to do with my power behaviors. So, my power project focuses on 2 things. The first is to truly focus on my power and the sense of control that I have and where I'm going in my career at Stanford University. The second piece of the power project is to look at my skills in teaching and gaming and stories and gamification and discover my own path for a system of personal consulting, moving actually out into industries, helping companies move forward in prototype concepts. So, a couple things that are positive. I've been doing some of these power behaviors without necessarily knowing it, seeing them as common sense for a number of years. I love public speaking. I'm a big fan of just getting out there and being seen and really just being out there. While I am something of an introvert, and that's something that I've held on to for too long, which is one of my power behaviors, transforming that, I certainly do enjoy connecting with other individuals. I'll go right to the top, I'll explain my vision to individuals, and really make sure that I can make those connections. I've always worked to be in high-level positions where I can at least be that individual in the middle, that type of gatekeeper. So I've done a lot of things that have moved me forward, but they've never really been codified, right? I've never really taken a strong look and said that I'm going to pursue these in a particular way. So that's what the power class has done. And I can break what I have learned in the power class into 3 really big ideas. The first is this: power is other people. Now, I'm certainly central to that, and my goal is to maintain and create a sense of power and agency over what I do. But ultimately, humans and human networks are what make that truly happen. And that's been one of the biggest lessons from this course. Secondly, power is incremental. While we can see people who have gone from A, poverty, to Z, winning the Nobel Prize, or we can read these case studies about people who've done amazing things, we need to understand all the letters and the steps in between. Once I come to understand that, I realize that all the small steps that I take will allow me, when I take a leap of faith and I'm goal-oriented, to move towards something much larger. And then finally, brand matters. Without a brand, I would not be able to move forward here at Stanford, nor would I be able to move forward in my own consulting business. So who am I? I'm an innovative technology leader. I have skills that bring story design and gaming experience to organizational change, innovation, and gaming systems. I know technology, I know how to implement it, and I understand how to research it and make it alive, make it something that matters and squirms for organizations. This feeds into both of the elements of my power project. So I'm going to talk about the consulting first. So in March at Me2We, I went with a group to Dow, I believe it was, and there was a company there called 219 Design, and they were doing a design thinking session. I've always had a strong interest in stories and design thinking. I took down the name of the owner of this company to contact him later. through this course. I used my Stanford work credentials as well as my Stanford lead credentials to connect with their owner and principal, who in fact was a Stanford engineering grad. I asked him out to coffee in Mountain View. He accepted, and we sat down and we had a fantastic conversation. We talked for a while. I told him about my vision for doing consulting. He really liked the idea. We talked about the business and pricing and the ins and outs, and we really just got in depth and had a great talk. And I left the conversation with an offer from him whereby if I were to find my first possible potential clients, I could feel free to connect with him and use the name of his company to lend that some legitimacy. Absolutely amazing. And of course, we keep in contact, and I become a Stanford connection for him, which is absolutely fantastic. I've been having lots of lunches. I've been meeting with lots of individuals, fantastic people from the GSB. Any of you who are watching, thank you so much for what you've done for me. And I've been writing a lot of articles on change, on design thinking, on technology, ways to build expertise, and these articles have been disseminated. They're helping to establish me as a thought leader, and during my day job at Stanford, they're helping to establish me as somebody who is positive and an agent of change. Now, I'm going to move to that. Right now at Stanford, I work in the medical school under the larger IT organization. It's called IRT. And we were just notified that, and it was a long time coming, we were notified that we are going to be merging with the hospital IT group, which is much larger, 600 people versus 200 people. And on first glance, one could feel that, oh my gosh, it's a merger, we're being absorbed, there's going to be major negative cultural change. And indeed, that is the attitude that a large number of individuals have. Now, as an artifact of this power class, I've really seen this as an opportunity. I am going to be inside of a brand new organization with a brand new structure, with 600 more people, with far more avenues for moving forward, with new ears and people right now who are fresh and receptive to how we can transform this into a powerful organization. So I've done everything I can to lean into this and make it as advantageous as possible. I researched my entire new chain of command, and I went all the way to the hospital CTO. I introduced myself briefly to the hospital CEO at a large town hall that they had. I scheduled meetings with the CTO, with the executive director for our new area, with my new director, and with other individuals who were at the same managerial level as myself. I went into these with my brand as a positive agent of change and somebody who feels that information technology and audiovisual systems are linked and that they're in fact a strategic future and that we can work together on these systems to create serious value. I met with all of these individuals and I laid out this philosophy, and I got to know them, they got to know me, I offered them help. I also ensured that they knew what my educational and university background is. They got to know me and I got to know them. I've connected with mentors across the university who've given me ideas on how to merge new teams. I've written articles that are very specific to change management, and I've just made sure that my brand's been out there, and it's shown. Just the other day, and this was amazing, my current director, my boss, called me up and he commended me for being the only person in all of our organization who has leaned into this transformational change, who's reached out, who's tried to make those connections between teams, who's put myself in the middle. And he used two words which really just blew my mind. He said, number one, you've made a brand for yourself as the person who is truly championing this. And number two, you've really gotten yourself noticed throughout the organization. Two words directly from the Power Book, directly from this class. It was pretty incredible, and it really showed the magic of what is happening here. A few other things that I've done. Today I had lunch with an individual from the lead team who agreed to allow me to present and experiment my consulting concept, a stories for design thinking concept with the lead group in October, which is an unbelievable opportunity. So again, I have to thank whoever's watching this video as well as the entire lead team for this. So thank you very much. And another thing that I did, and this was previous to really reaching out and leaning in to the SHC SOM merger, I also wanted to look at my options in case I did feel like leaving, in case the culture wasn't going where I wanted it to, or if my conversation showed that my influence would not be what I wanted it to. So I reached out to the CEO of Zoom, Eric Yuan. We had a very light relationship. I had worked with him to help bring Zoom to Stanford University, and we emailed essentially once before. I connected with him on LinkedIn. I talked about his company and how I really enjoy their vision, and I was curious if there are any ways that I could work with them. He connected me directly with a recruiter who was ready and willing to give me a position. The position that they offered was not the direction I wanted to go with my career, but we established a fantastic relationship, and I do have access to her in the future in case that is a direction I'd like to go. I've also reconnected with recruiters. I've reconnected with individuals I haven't spoke to in a very long time. The former CIO of the GSB, an old friend who is a early Facebook employee and Facebook millionaire and is now an angel investor, as well as other individuals. But ultimately, what I've done is every time that I see some type of what could become a hardship, rather lean into it, accept it, draw it in, and find a way to make that something powerful. It's been an amazing experience, and as I look at these incremental transformations, I'm excited to see what happens a year from now. I'm going to try giving this 1 year in the SHC SOM merger and see where it goes. Over that year, I'm going to be building my connections, building my power behaviors, and doing everything I can to move forward and keep repeating this, moving forward in place at my new SOM SHC position, as well as getting out there and really trying the consulting thing and working to make it happen and connecting with people and getting real clients and moving forward with it. So I want to thank Professor Jeffrey Pfeffer, as well as the entire team, for leading me through this power journey. I'm excited to see where it goes and happy to stick with it into the future. Thank you.